A late-night emergency. The October wind rattled the windows of Paws and Hearts. Veterinary clinic. As Jessica Monroe locked the medicine cabinet, her fingers ached from the long day of surgeries and examinations. But she still had paperwork to finish before heading home. At 32, she had built a good life for herself and her daughter, even if it meant constant exhaustion and financial juggling. "Mom, can we go soon?" Lily asked from the waiting room bench, her homework spread across her lap. At 9 years old, she spent more evenings at the clinic than most kids her age, patient and understanding in ways that broke Jessica's heart. "Almost done, sweetheart. Just need to update these files." Jessica glanced at her daughter, seeing the familiar dark eyes that always reminded her of him. Dominic Rousseau, the man who had vanished from her life 10 years ago without explanation, leaving her pregnant and alone. She kept a small box of photos hidden in her closet. Pictures she showed Lily whenever her daughter asked about her father. The crunch of tires on gravel made Jessica look up. A black SUV pulled into the parking lot, its headlights cutting through the darkness. They had closed 30 minutes ago, but emergencies did not follow schedules. She straightened as a large man in an expensive suit climbed out. Carrying something wrapped in a blood-soaked blanket, Jessica was already unlocking the door before he knocked. "Saving a life, please. You have to help," the man said urgently. "My boss's dog got hurt. Our regular vet is not available." Jessica saw the blood seeping through the fabric and made her decision instantly. "Bring him in. Lily, go to the break room, please." Her daughter gathered her things without complaint, casting one worried glance at the injured animal before disappearing down the hallway. The man introduced himself as Tony Bennett as Jessica examined the golden retriever on her steel table. Gunshot wound to the shoulder, possibly with the bullet still lodged inside. Her stomach tightened at the implications, but the dog whimpered in pain, and her training took over.
"What's his name?"
she asked, preparing pain medication. "Duke. He means everything to my boss." Jessica worked quickly and carefully, removing the bullet and stitching the wound with steady hands. An hour later, Duke was stable and resting comfortably. Tony watched the entire procedure with intense focus, his expression shifting from worry to respect. "You're very skilled," he said as Jessica cleaned her instruments. "The boss will want to thank you personally." "That's not necessary. The surgery fee will be enough." Tony pulled out a business card with only a phone number printed on it. "He will insist. Duke is family to him." 3 days later, an envelope arrived at the clinic containing payment that was far more generous than her usual rates. Inside was also an elegant invitation to a charity gala at the Fairmont Hotel, the handwritten note offering to provide transportation and appropriate clothing. The note mentioned that she could bring her daughter if she wished. The gala Jessica almost declined, but Rachel, her best friend and colleague, convinced her to go. "When was the last time you did something nice for yourself? Go to the fancy party. Lily will love it." The dress that arrived fit perfectly, deep red silk that made Jessica feel beautiful for the first time in years. Lily wore her best velvet dress, her dark curls shining as they rode to the hotel in the car Tony had sent. The ballroom took Jessica's breath away. Crystal chandeliers cast prismed light across elegant tables draped in cream and gold. Women in designer gowns mingled with men in tailored tuxedos. Jessica felt out of place until she saw Lily's excitement at the beautiful decorations. They found their table and settled in, Rachel joining them with supportive smiles. Jessica tried to relax, telling herself that one evening of elegance was harmless. Then Lily spotted the gold balloons floating near the ceiling. She exclaimed, slipping from her chair before Jessica could stop her. "Lily, come back here." Jessica called, chasing after her daughter through the crowd. She lost sight of Lily for a moment, panic flaring in her chest. Then she spotted her, frozen in place, and staring up at a tall man in an expensive tuxedo. He stood talking to a group of businessmen, his dark hair touched with gray at the temples. His presence commanding attention from everyone around him. Jessica pushed through the guests and grabbed Lily's hand. "I'm so sorry." She got excited about the decorations and the words died in her throat. 10 years. 10 years of wondering, of searching, of showing Lily photographs and telling her stories about her father. 10 years of building a life alone while trying to understand why he had disappeared, and there he stood. Dominic Rousseau, older and harder than she remembered, with new lines around his eyes and a weariness that had not existed in the college student she had loved, but unmistakably him. The truth comes out. Dominic stared at Lily, his face draining of color as recognition hit him. Jessica watched him see what she had seen the moment their daughter was born. Lily had his eyes, his chin, the same intense way of looking at the world. Lily glanced between the man and the photograph she had memorized from that box under her mother's bed. Jessica saw the realization dawn on her young face as she pieced together the past and present. "Oh, I think you're my father," Lily said clearly, her voice cutting through the sudden silence around them. Dominic's eyes snapped to Jessica, shock and recognition warring in his expression. The conversations around them faded. Jessica could not move, could not speak, could only stand there clutching Lily's hand while her carefully constructed life collided with the past. She had tried to forget. His face went absolutely pale as he stared at her, at the woman he had abandoned, at the daughter he had never known existed. "Jessica," he said, her name emerging rough and disbelieving. Time seemed to stop. The ballroom noise became distant static. Jessica's heart pounded so hard she thought everyone must hear it. After all these years, after all the unanswered questions, here was Dominic Rousseau, looking at their daughter for the first time, and everything was about to change. "A private conversation we should go, Lily." "Come on," Jessica said. Finding her voice, though, it came out steadier than she felt. "Wait." Dominic's hand shot out, not touching her, but blocking their path. "Please, just wait. There's nothing to say." The words tasted bitter after 10 years of wondering and hurting. "There's everything to say." His voice dropped lower, urgent. "Not here. Somewhere private?" Rachel appeared at Jessica's elbow, her face pale but determined. "Jessica, maybe you should hear him out." Jessica wanted to refuse, wanted to grab Lily and run just as she had wanted to do 10 years ago when she realized he was not coming back. But Lily's eyes were fixed on Dominic with an intensity that made her chest ache. Her daughter had spent 9 years wondering about her father, asking questions Jessica could not answer. Did she not deserve to hear whatever explanation he could offer? 5 minutes, Jessica said coldly. "That's all you get." Relief flickered across Dominic's features. He gestured toward an exit, and Jessica noticed Tony standing nearby. He had known when he brought Duke to her clinic. He had known exactly who she was. They followed Dominic through the ballroom to a private office, wood-paneled and elegant. Once inside, he closed the door and turned to face them. In the brighter light, Jessica could see the changes that 10 years had carved into his features. Harder lines around his mouth, silver threading through his dark hair, a weariness that had not existed in the boy she had loved. "The explanation, you're Duke's owner?" Jessica said, because it was easier than addressing the larger truth standing between them. Yes. Dominic ran a hand through his hair, a gesture she remembered from late nights studying together. "I need to explain. You need to explain why you disappeared." Anger broke through her carefully maintained composure. "Why you changed your number, transferred schools, vanished without a single word." "I was pregnant, Dominic. 3 months pregnant when I finally accepted you were not coming back." His face went ashen. "You tried to reach me." "Of course I tried to reach you. I called everyone I could think of. Your roommate said you had transferred. Your parents' number was disconnected. It was like you had been erased. I did not know." The words came out strangled. "Jessica, I swear I did not know you were pregnant. I did not know about—" His gaze shifted to Lily, softening. "About her? Why did you leave?" The question she had asked herself 1,000 times. Dominic's jaw worked. "My father found out about us, about the life I was trying to build separate from the family business. He gave me an ultimatum. Come home and take my place in the organization or be cut off completely. And if I refused," he paused, his eyes haunted. "He made it clear you would be in danger, that anyone I cared about would become a target. So you just left without explaining, without giving me a choice." I was 22 and terrified. My father was not a man you refused. The things he threatened to do if I did not comply." He shook his head. "I thought if I disappeared completely, if you had no way to contact me, you would move on. You would be safe." "Safe?" Jessica laughed bitterly. "I was alone and pregnant, working 2 jobs to pay for veterinary school, barely scraping by. That's the safety you gave me." Lily's voice broke the tension. "What's your name?" Dominic crouched down to her level, his hands trembling slightly. Dominic Rousseau. "I'm Lily." She studied him with childlike directness. "You look like the pictures Mom showed me. What did your mother tell you about me?" Lily glanced at Jessica uncertainly. Jessica nodded permission. "She said you loved us very much, but you had to go away. That sometimes grown-ups make hard choices." Dominic's eyes closed briefly. When they opened, they were bright with unshed tears. "Your mother was right, and you are beautiful and smart. I can see it. I'm 9. I like animals. I want to be a veterinarian like Mom." The sound of shattering glass cut through the moment. One instant, they stood in tense conversation. The next, the window behind Dominic's desk exploded inward. Jessica reacted on instinct, grabbing Lily and pulling her down as Dominic threw himself forward, covering both of them with his body. More glass rained down, and she felt something whisper past overhead. "Too fast to see." "Stay down," Dominic commanded. His voice transformed from pleading to authoritative in a heartbeat. Tony burst through the door, weapon drawn, followed by 2 other men. "Sniper, northeast building. Missed by inches. Get them out." "Back exit. Use my car. Full security detail. What about you, boss?" "I'll follow. Just get them somewhere safe now." Jessica tried to process what was happening as Tony hauled her to her feet. Rachel grabbed Lily, who had gone silent with shock. They were ushered through a service corridor and downstairs that seemed to descend forever. The garage beneath the hotel was dimly lit. Tony directed them toward a black SUV, practically pushing them inside. Lily pressed against Jessica, trembling. "Mom, what's happening?" "I don't know, baby. But we're okay. We're safe." Dominic appeared at the vehicle, breathing hard. Blood stained his tuxedo jacket. "Someone just shot at us." "At my daughter." "I know, and that's why you need to come with me." "It's not safe for you to go home. Are you insane?" "I'm not going anywhere with you. They'll kill you." Dominic's bluntness cut through her panic. "Jessica, the people who just tried to eliminate me saw you and Lily with me in public. They will use you against me." Jessica looked at Lily, at her pale face and frightened eyes. Go with Dominic and enter a world she had spent 10 years avoiding. Refuse and risk whoever fired that shot would try again. "If we do this, I need answers. Real answers about what kind of danger we're in and why."
Dominic nodded.
"You'll have them. Every answer you want?" The estate, the mansion, emerged from darkness like something from a Gothic novel. Stone walls, iron gates, security cameras, tracking their movement. Jessica held Lily close as they drove through the entrance. "It's big," Lily whispered. "It's temporary," Jessica assured her. Though she was not certain of anything anymore, Dominic led them inside to a suite that could have housed their entire apartment twice over. 2 bedrooms connected by a sitting area, large windows overlooking gardens, a bathroom with a soaking tub. "There's a phone by the bed," Dominic explained. "Dial 0 for the kitchen, 1 for security. Anything you need? Ask." After he left, Jessica helped Lily change into pajamas that had been laid out, soft cotton that fit perfectly. Someone had anticipated their needs with unnerving accuracy. "Mom, are we really in danger?" Lily asked as Jessica tucked her into bed. "I don't know all the details yet, but Dominic seems to think someone might try to hurt us because they saw us together, because he's my father." "Yes, because you're his daughter? Is he a bad person?" Jessica thought about the question carefully. "I think he's made choices I don't agree with, but he's trying to keep us safe now. That's what matters tonight." After Lily fell asleep, Jessica stood at the window staring out at the darkened grounds. Somewhere beyond those walls, someone wanted Dominic dead badly enough to take a shot at him in a crowded hotel. And now she and Lily were caught in a war they did not understand. A soft knock made her open the door. Dominic stood in the hallway, changed into dark jeans and a gray sweater. "Can we talk?" "Just for a few minutes." Jessica stepped into the hallway. "Make it quick." "Understanding the danger I need to explain about tonight," Dominic said. "My family has controlled certain operations in Boston for 3 generations. Import, export, legitimate businesses mixed with less legitimate ones. When my father died 2 years ago, I inherited everything. The business, the enemies, the obligations. You could have walked away, could I? You think I could just resign and go work a regular job? I'm in this for life, Jessica. The only way out is death." The honesty chilled her. "Then why did you invite me to that gala?" "Because I did not know you existed. When Tony brought Duke to your clinic, he did it on his own. He reported finding a skilled veterinarian. He did not mention your name. The invitation was meant as a thank you, nothing more, till Lily announced I was her father in front of half of Boston's elite. This is insane, Dominic. I know, but we're in it now. I've already reached out to the rival organization leadership, proposed a meeting to discuss terms. They tried to kill you tonight. I'll respond appropriately. But there are protocols, rules, even in this world. They made their move. Now we negotiate. And if they don't," his expression hardened, "then I eliminate the threat permanently." The casual way he said it sent ice down her spine. "You mean kill them? I mean protect my family by any means necessary?" Jessica wanted to argue, but exhaustion was winning. "How long before we can go home?" "I don't know. Days, maybe a week. But I need official documentation for legal purposes. DNA testing to establish inheritance rights. If something happens to me, I want Lily protected. I'll find your tests. But don't expect me to suddenly welcome you into her life as if the past 10 years did not happen. I'm asking for the chance to know her, Jessica. To be her father." The question hung between them. "We'll see. Prove you can keep us safe first." He nodded, accepting the terms. "The suite has everything you need. Mrs. Romano manages the household. You can trust her." After he left, Jessica lay down beside Lily, staring at the ceiling. In one night, all her carefully constructed walls had crumbled. But for the first time in 10 years, she did not feel alone. A new normal 3 weeks after the attack. Life had settled into a rhythm that felt almost normal. Dominic's promised action against the rival organization had been swift and comprehensive. The threat had been neutralized without the violence Jessica had feared. She did not ask for details. She began returning to the clinic 3 days a week. Driven by a security detail so discreet, she sometimes forgot they were there. Rachel greeted her first day back with a fierce hug and questions. Jessica could not fully answer, but evenings found her at Dominic's estate, decision she had made consciously rather than out of necessity. Lily had flourished under his attention. She called him Dad now, and the joy in Dominic's eyes every time he heard that word made Jessica's chest ache. Tonight was different. Dominic had arranged dinner in the conservatory, just the 3 of them. Candles flickered on the table, and soft music played in the background. "This is nice," Jessica said as Lily chattered about her day with Nina. "The tutor Dominic had hired?" "I wanted us to have time together as a family," Dominic replied, his eyes meeting Jessica's across the table. After dinner, Lily went to play with the puzzle Mrs. Romano had given her, leaving Jessica and Dominic alone in the garden. "Unexpected threats. There's something I need to tell you," Dominic said, his expression serious. "A man approached me at a business meeting yesterday. Gregory Walsh. He claims to have information about illegal activities in some of my father's old operations." "What kind of information?" "The kind that could interest federal investigators. He's threatening to go public unless I pay him a substantial amount of money." "Blackmail." "Yes. But I've been transitioning the business toward legitimate operations since I took over. Most of what he claims is outdated or exaggerated. Still, the threat exists. What are you going to do?" "Handle it carefully and legally. I've hired Detective Harrison, a federal investigator who specializes in financial crimes." If Walsh is bluffing, Harrison will find proof. If there are real issues, I'll address them properly. Jessica studied him. You really are trying to change things, aren't you? For you. For Lily. For the future, I want to build with you both. He took her hand. I meant what I said, Jessica. I'm leaving the criminal world behind. Over the next week, Jessica found herself drawn into the investigation. Her research skills from veterinary school translated surprisingly well to tracing business records and financial documents. She worked alongside Gregory Walsh's files, looking for inconsistencies. Look at this, she told Dominic one evening in his office. Walsh claims your father's shipping company moved illegal goods through the port, but the customs records show every shipment was inspected and cleared. He's lying. Dominic studied her notes, admiration clear in his expression. You're brilliant. This is exactly what Harrison needs. Building connections as they worked together, Jessica felt the walls around her heart slowly crumbling. She watched Dominic with Lily, patient and loving, everything she had once dreamed a father should be. She saw him make difficult decisions about his business, choosing ethics over profit, legitimacy over shortcuts. One evening, after Lily had gone to bed, Dominic found Jessica on the terrace overlooking the gardens. Can we talk? He asked softly. Always. He moved to stand beside her. I know I don't deserve forgiveness for leaving you 10 years ago. I know I can't change the past or give back the years I missed, but I'm asking you to consider a future with me. A real future, not just as Lily's parents, but as partners. Jessica's breath caught. Dominic, you don't have to answer now. I just needed you to know how I feel. I love you, Jessica. I never stopped, even when I thought I'd never see you again. And I love the woman you've become, the mother you are, the strength you've shown. Tears filled her eyes. I'm scared. Scared of trusting you again, scared of what your world means for Lily, scared of how much I still feel for you. But I think we're stronger together than apart. And Lily deserves to see her parents happy. Jessica turned to face him fully. I'm not ready to say yes to everything, but I'm willing to try. To see where this goes, one day at a time. Hope Lila's features. That's all I'm asking for. He leaned down slowly, giving her time to pull away. When his lips met hers, it felt like coming home, like finding something she had lost and mourned and thought she would never have again. Resolution. The investigation into Gregory Walsh concluded 2 weeks later. Detective Harrison presented evidence that Walsh had fabricated most of his claims, attempting to extort money through false accusations. Federal prosecutors agreed to drop any inquiry into Dominic's operations in exchange for his cooperation in cases against other criminal organizations. It's over. Dominic told Jessica and Lily over breakfast. Walsh has been arrested. The business is clean. We're free to move forward. Lily looked up from her cereal. Does that mean Mom doesn't have to worry anymore? It means we're all safe, Jessica said, squeezing her daughter's hand. That evening, Dominic called them to the library. I have something for both of you. He handed Jessica a folder. Inside were legal documents establishing a trust fund for Lily's education and future. Papers showing the veterinary clinic now had a new investor who expected nothing except to support Jessica's work, and a deed to a house near the estate. What is this? Jessica asked, overwhelmed. The house is yours if you want to stay close but have your own space. The clinic investment is to free you from financial stress. The trust fund is Lily's security. No strings attached, Jessica? This is not about controlling you. It's about giving you choices you did not have before. Tears streamed down Jessica's face. Thank you. For everything. Lily hugged Dominic tight. Does this mean we're a real family now? He looked at Jessica over their daughter's head, question in his eyes. She smiled through her tears and nodded. Yes, sweetheart. We're a real family. New beginning 6 months later. Jessica stood in the garden watching Lily play with Duke, who had made a complete recovery. Rachel was visiting for the weekend, delighted by the transformation in her friend's life. You look happy, Rachel observed. Really, truly happy. I am. It's strange how life works out. 6 months ago, I never would have imagined this. Dominic emerged from the house, walking toward them with easy confidence. He wrapped his arms around Jessica from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. "What are you thinking about?" he murmured. "About second chances. About how sometimes the hardest things lead to the best outcomes." He turned her to face him. "I have something to ask you." Jessica's heart started racing as he pulled a small box from his pocket and dropped to one knee. "Jessica Monroe, you gave me the greatest gift when you raised our daughter alone. When you forgave me enough to give me a chance. When you chose to trust me again. Will you give me one more gift? Will you marry me?" Lily squealed with excitement, running over to watch. Rachel clutched Jessica's arm, grinning. Jessica looked down at Dominic, at the man who had broken her heart and spent months earning back her trust, at the father who loved their daughter with his whole being, at the partner who had proven himself worthy of a second chance. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I'll marry you." As he slipped the ring on her finger and stood to kiss her, surrounded by the people who mattered most, Jessica felt truly at peace. The journey had been painful and complicated, full of danger and uncertainty, but they had come through it together, building something real and lasting from the broken pieces of the past. Their family was complete. Their future was bright. And love, Jessica had learned, was worth fighting for. Worth risking everything to protect, and worth believing in even when it seemed impossible. This was not the ending. It was their beginning.